I finally did my laundry, so I'm happy because that was like 3 weeks that I didn't do it. So I was missing lots of my clothes that I forgot even existed. For a couple days, I didn't even have any t-shirts. So I was just wearing either a tank top or a hoodie, but there was no in between, which is difficult because my temperatures change quickly, I guess. So I have a couple things that we could talk about today, but I don't really know what I'm in the mood for, so we'll just see what happens. But I did want to talk a little bit about religion, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's an important topic nowadays, and I see it being discussed everywhere. And I was actually raised really Christian, so some of my earliest memories were in religion. And I think that in a way, your religious views impact everything in your life, more or less, especially if it's intertwined with your morality. So I figured I would tell you a little bit about my religion. But it is my own religion that I have made myself, and it is kind of weird, so I don't know, we might as well talk about it. So I am not a Christian anymore. I left that in, like, officially in 2021. I decided that I was not that anymore. But I don't think that it ever jived well with me, the whole you're a sinner thing. That's just not me. Maybe it's you, but it's not me. So eventually I realized that we can choose what we allow into our own world, and if you don't like something, you don't have to go along with it and try to force yourself to believe it. So I don't anymore. But obviously, once you leave one school of thought, there is this empty place, and it takes a lot of courage to be willing to walk away from something without having a ready answer to take its place. Like when I left Christianity, I did not have another religion that I was converting to. Instead, I was just simply stating to myself that is not true. Like, I can feel it in my body that it's wrong, at least in the way it's presented in our current world. So instead, I kind of turned my focus to be more on personal development, and I started reading lots of books I hadn't really read since I was a kid, I guess. And so that was cool. I started listening to a lot of audiobooks and reading books, and it was great. You know, a lot of the things in the personal development community, I guess, kind of rubbed me the wrong way with hustle culture, and everybody's so focused on being productive, and I think that really defeats the whole purpose of life, because the only reason you want money anyways is so that you can be happy, so that you can buy things to be happy. So if you're spending all of your time working yourself to the bone and you're not happy, let's say, because at least for me, I wouldn't be happy if I was doing that, then it's stupid. You're already like doing the opposite of what you want in order to get what you want. It doesn't make sense. So I kind of noticed that, but a lot of the stuff that I was learning was good too. And especially when it comes to taking accountability and realizing that everything really is in your hands. Like, you have a lot more, I don't want to say control, but you have more choice in the way your life goes, which is really awesome. And as I was learning, I was watching a lot of podcasts too, and I came across Eckhart Tolle, and so that was kind of like on the line of more spiritual thinking, and he talked about just awareness and what that was, And I've always been deeply aware since I was a kid, but I don't necessarily think that I was aware of the fact that I was aware to such a deep level. And so Eckhart Tolle just really, in one of his interviews, he was just having you like really close your eyes and be in that blank space and just realize that that thing that's aware, like that's who you truly are. And even though I had already experienced that as a young child, just becoming more aware of that awareness was really trippy, and it definitely felt like the most spiritual that I had ever felt, now that I was calling it by what it was instead of trying to have like some fake spiritual experience in like the Christian lens, because I used to do that a lot as a kid. I was always praying and wanting to connect to God, but nobody answered because I was looking for an answer from somebody that was not me, which was incorrect. Because when you close your eyes and there's that awareness, that is God. So basically, I got super into that. I mean, not really super into that, but it just really stuck with me, and I kind of integrated it into the back of my mind, and just was aware of it throughout my daily life. And then the religion that I go by now is called Everything is Lexi. And it's kind of a silly thing because all of this is a silly thing, right? So I like to keep it light because it can feel so dense at times. So Lexi is my dog, and she's a beautiful little dog. She's really sweet. Sometimes she's bad. Like today, I brought her outside with my parents' dog, and they saw some deer across the street, and they got excited and ran across the street, which is super dangerous because a car could come and hit them. And that was not very good. But that's just an example of that chaotic playfulness that can appear bad to others, but it's actually just your instincts. So nothing is really bad in that way. But anyways, so the way that I came to the conclusion that everything is Lexi was, it was kind of a natural thing. I would just be out and about and I would see a cute little animal, and just something in the essence of it would remind me of Lexi. So I would say, oh, that's Lexi. It could be a squirrel, or it could be a deer, or it could be a bird, or sad to say, even even if I saw like roadkill on the side of the road, I would just drive by and be like, that's Lexi. Just because it's this essence of life, or absence of it, that just reminded me of Lexi and of that good in all things. Lexi's sitting right behind the camera, so she keeps looking at me every time I say her name. But I really started to become aware of this, especially as I was reading books that explained about how we are all one, which I think I already knew. All of this we all already know, right? It's just the memory or that awareness is awakened within you once you're ready for it. And so it's kind of like remembering stuff that you already know. And so I was just becoming more and more aware of the fact that we all are one, and not even just like in a nice mantra sort of way, but in a very literal way. Like we are all literally one. Like this is just one thing split into illusions to create the illusion of separateness. And that's not even just things that are alive. Like it's not even just animals or humans. It's also everything. Literally everything. So like I could even say like, this is Lexi, you know? And I don't know. I feel like it's just a really helpful way to look at life, at least for me. Although it does sound crazy, but keep in mind, you can swap out the word Lexi for anything, because if we're all one, then we're all everything, you know? So you could make it as silly or as serious as you want, you know? And it would still have the same meaning. Because yes, we are all Lexi, but we are all also this bottle. And we're also all this t-shirt, and we're also all literally fill in the blank, whatever you want to call it. But I like to use Lexi because I feel like it reminds me to be kind and have empathy, even if somebody or something is not going the way I want it to. Like earlier when Lexi ran across the street, I didn't like that very much, but I still had this deep love and empathy for her, like unconditional love, because first of all, the only reason she did that anyways is because she's unaware of how dangerous that is. And that's really how everybody is behaving. Anyone who does anything that's wrong or mean, it's just because that they are unaware of who they truly are, and that they are also Lexi. So if they're hurting others, they're hurting themselves. They wouldn't do that if they knew that it was themselves. That would be dumb. So it's any meanness is always out of that unawareness, which is why if you are aware, you have to, I mean, you don't have to do anything, but you just want to have that understanding and love. But yeah, I don't know, it's really cool. And then also it's great because whenever I see an animal that I would be scared of in the past, I realize that it is also one with us. Like, I saw a really scary spider that looked like a tarantula. I don't know if it really was a tarantula, but it might as well have been. And it was in the house. And in the past, I would have freaked out, but instead, I realized that it was Lexi. And so I just had kind of like a moment with it where I just looked at it and just appreciated it, and I kind of asked it to leave, please, like vibrationally, like telepathically. I don't think it heard me, but it doesn't hurt to try new stuff, you know? Or one time I was at the beach and this bird, a little black crow, or I don't know, maybe it was a different bird, but it looked like a crow, and it came and sat right next to me, and it was looking kind of scary, and I felt that fear rise up inside of me just as an instinct, and then I held myself from moving. I just stayed still and became aware of the situation, and my body relaxed, and I just appreciated the fact that we are one, me and this bird, and like everybody else too, and everything. So I don't know, I thought that was a really good experience, because when you are feeling fear like that and it transforms into love, it's a really beautiful thing. So that's my worldview, that's my religion. It's very simple, and it's very silly, and it's also so complicated if you want to make it complicated, but it doesn't have to be. And I don't know, I think there's a lot of room for creativity within that, and interpretation, and I'm having fun with it, and it's evolving as we go every day, and I'm getting to new levels of awareness every day with it. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you.